Shelves. All right, we are live and good morning, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Are you feeling lucky?
No.
You're not? I feel lucky. My
Yes.
shirt is green, although it looks black on
Wait a minute.
camera.
Why didn't you wear your necklace?
My money necklace, look, because we alternate weeks.
Apparently, because we both did. Good morning, Tina. Yeah, I guess I am feeling lucky. My son came home last night he's here till Monday, so I'm super excited about that. He really wanted tacos, so we did tacos.
Look,
He,
you can never go wrong having tacos, in my opinion. I love
I agree.
tacos.
Tacos are so versatile because you could do nachos, tacos, enchiladas. I mean, it just,
Yes.
never gets old.
Mexican food is my favorite. Italian food comes in a very close second.
Ooh. I don't know. We do a lot of Indian and Thai.
Yeah.
So, it'd be tough. I don't know if I could rank them. That's a tough question, Tina. Too tough for a Friday morning.
Good
Anyhow,
morning, Nate. Good morning, JR. Are you guys feeling lucky today?
there we go.
Good
Almost.
morning, Reno. All
Good
the
morning.
boys in the house.
Yes, they are. Excellent, excellent. All right. So today we have a lot of questions. There's a lot of updates. There's just a lot going on. It's going to be I mean, we're gonna try and keep it to an hour, but honestly, in the Amazon world and all of the questions that people have left while we've had guest speakers has piled up, and so there's just a lot going on and a lot changing. So, it's like where to begin? We made a list. Thank goodness we made a list because I can't. I'm one of those people that if you ask me point blank on something, I usually blank out. I'm like, what? I go into the grocery store. If I don't have a list, I'm like, I don't know what I should get. But I wanted to start off with William's question. He had asked, and he caught it at the tail end of our last Q&A. He was asking about the NARF program and any gotchas. And I just thought we'd share kind of our experiences with the NARF program. I've been in it for a few years and love it. There's no downside necessarily. The negatives that they do have is, let's see here, you've got to go over into those accounts, and this is for if you sell on any other account besides .com, and you will have a different feedback board, different voice of the customer, different account health. So you could get an IP complaint or a suspected IP complaint or compliance documents over on the other markets and not realize it because you're only looking at your American side. I do cross post everything automatically and then add 10% just for conversion rates and fees and all of that stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult getting the items to cross post. Like some things are restricted in different countries that are not restricted here. They have different laws. Like if you sell food, my yogurt, half my breakfast this morning, if you sell food products in Canada, they have a different allergens. Here in the States, we have the Deadly Seven, peanuts, etc. And in Canada, they have celery and mustard are considered allergens by the whatever food administration they have over there. So compliance guidelines and everything is different. Sometimes with Canadian stuff, you have to have instructions and whatnot in English and in French. So all in all, though, the small downsides are really not that big of a problem. Do you have anything to add, Miss Tina?
Well, I actually recently unenrolled from the NARF program. I was just getting irritated with it. So I had it for many years. And then I forget, I just forget. So what was happening for me is I would forget to check my account health in both Canada and Mexico. And I was like, oh crap, I have these dings and these things going on because, I just forgot that I had those accounts. And so, I never really was at risk of losing my account. But it just really started working my nerves. In addition, when we are set up on our repricers, it appeared that you could be losing money when things were being sold in those countries with the exchange rates. Um, So I like I said, I recently turned it off. I would not say that my sales, my average monthly quota or daily quota has changed at all. So, and I can't really compare how much more was I really selling there before versus now. I've not ran those reports. Would I be against ever turning it back on? No. And it's super easy to enroll and unenroll. And I also never did advertising campaigns in those countries. So, possibly I could have sold more if I was running ad campaigns. I never really played around with that feature of the account enough.
I do not run ad campaigns because right now I am struggling with getting my private label items and bundles cross posted over there because those do take a little bit more work if it's not something that's already established in the catalog and done. I would say I make between $100 to $300 a week in sales that get back to me between the two accounts. If you added Canada and Mexico, they equate to, what is that, $400 to $1,200 in my payouts that I get back. And you got to look at it like, okay, so $100 a week that I'm making off of these platforms, minus cost of goods, and I spend maybe 15 minutes like checking my account health dashboard a month. So like for 15 minutes of work, is it worth it? Absolutely. So in
Have
my
you ever checked your profit against the exchange rates or to
Yeah,
verify
when
if
you
you
go
are in
in and you
fact?
get your payout, that's why all my stuff is priced 10% higher so that I make sure that I make a profit, even if it goes into a repricing strategy that is on the lower end. And then
The
that way I
one
don't.
thing that irritates me is Amazon, when you enroll in that program, they take your items that are a good fit for the other platform, be it Mexico or Canada. So I feel like Amazon US should not be putting things over there that are forbidden, right? Like I've been in trouble for different beauty products that were cross-listed over there because of, ingredients that are in it that are not acceptable to the Canadian market. And I feel like, well, then Amazon US, don't cross-post my stuff over there. It's not like we're choosing what's being cross-posted. So things like that just irritate me with Amazon.
I agree with that. What is it? Lancome is forbidden. It's not allowed in the market over in Canada. So there was a bunch of people that got hit with Lancome stuff,
Mhm.
and I, I feel the same way. If it's not allowed over there, then just
Don't put it over
be
there.
setting on there. The other thing that I think that they should implement that would, in my eyes, it seems very easy to do is when I delete something out of my inventory in my .com, take it out of
Yes.
my Mexico and Canada. I don't like having to go clean up inventory on 3 different boards.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
irritating. Like there
That's
should be an
irritating
option that
too.
just
Yeah.
delete it across, delete it in all 3 accounts. All right. So next thing we got is, let's see here, new brand registry dashboard came out. I don't know how to navigate there without clicking my link. I had a link through the email, and then I quickly what do you call it? Bookmarked it. But there is a new brand registry dashboard, so if you are brand registered, it is much nicer and more intuitive. They did do an improvement there. Very few things with Amazon are an improvement, but I did feel that that was an improvement. And then some of y'all might have been hit with the Continental Mills. Get off our listings. We don't allow Amazon sellers lovely email this week. And I want to touch base on those emails. When a company emails you through the email chain and it's not through Amazon and whatnot, do you need to comply? No, you absolutely don't need to comply. You don't have to do anything that they say. You don't have to respond. You don't have to show them receipts. You don't have to acknowledge that you received the email. In fact, I don't purposely acknowledge or say, hey, I received your email, because I don't want to start that paper trail of you've acknowledged us and you know about this type of situation. But
Yeah.
I do take it as a red flag of, hey, Continental Mills might be locking down their products on Amazon and they're probably going through the brand registry process. And this was round one of what they were going to send out to get people off of the listings. So I will be selling out and probably just deleting those. I don't have much of anything anyways from them. Do you, Tina?
I don't because I know some people were already getting hit during Q4,
Hmm.
and that is a brand that I sell primarily during Q4 because their cookie and cake mixes, things like that, sell really, really great during that baking season. Through the rest of the year, I never sold them much anyway.
Yeah. Uh, Good morning. Think of mine. He's saying the big problem is complaints. Yep. There's complaints, and if you are doing a drop shipping model, you're going to have more complaints. And or if you are doing a private label, cheap Chinese built piece of junk, you're going to have a lot of complaints as well. And then let's hear. Adva says, I checked mine, found out they suspended him in Canada. Oh,
And I'm guessing it's because, like me, you would forget to go over there and look. And so when we get these emails to our account, your toy compliance emails or whatever, it's not specifying what platform. So I just
it does
on
in the email.
autopilot, huh?
It does in the email. In the
Yeah,
email, it would say .com, .ca, or .mx.
right. But at the header, so when I would read the header in my email, I just would quickly go into my account and if I didn't see it in there, I was like, what the heck? And then it took a minute for it to register. Oh, it's on the other platform. Yeah.
Yeah, .com and .ca look a lot alike when
Yeah.
you're looking at things. Uh, you do need to go take care of that suspension in Canada, or it will affect your American account.
Yeah.
That is that will happen. You will have a related account, and you will get suspended in all of them. Facebook user says,
What was that? You brought your dog? Or is it a
"No,
ghost?
there's nobody here. It's a ghost."
Ooh,
I haven't.
feeling lucky. Wanna play?
Ooh, yeah. The Facebook user says, even when they say cease and desist, they could tell me that they're going to hang me by my toes and beat me with a paddle. It doesn't matter what they say. I could tell you anything. And
Yeah.
people need to realize that. It was social media, YouTube, any sort of, communications and whatnot. Learn to read between the lines. Ghost of Packers past. Oh, you're cracking me up. You can say anything you want in this world. You have freedom of speech, but you are not free from the consequences of that speech, and nobody has to give a hoot. I could tell you that I have aliens that pack for me, and my sales are 50 million a year, and I'm the number one seller on Amazon. And I could tell you whatever you want. So they can tell me whatever they want too. Read what it's all about. Do they have a leg to stand on? No, absolutely not. I mean, I am allowed by law to resell their items if I am purchasing it legitly and all of that stuff. I am not buying, crusties from the guy selling the Ray-Bans on the corner down at the market. They are definitely legit products, but this is
And
the
these
but.
companies don't want to actually file all these lawsuits and take
Yeah.
all of the sellers to court. It's just take it as a forewarning that they are probably going to go through the brand registry process and kick sellers off their listings. So when
When
when I've had
somebody
those type of letters, I'm aware of it. I don't ignore it like, oh well, I don't care what you say. I'm going to keep selling it. I will sell out of what I have, but then I quit buying the products. I do not answer them back. I don't do anything. But I do know that they are probably in the process of getting brand registered and removing sellers from their listings.
when companies that are big like Continental Mills is huge, and they're like 2 blocks away from me. So I'm really, I just want to go knock on their door. I drive past them constantly. But when they are that big, they are going to get an Amazon representative. They're going to get somebody that's going to help them with their account. They have teams of lawyers and staff that do nothing but this type of work. They're going to do nothing but create listings, handle listings. They will have somebody working for them specifically for this, maybe a third party company. And when they get into the Amazon world and they start issuing out IP complaints, again, they can do what they want. And now they're in Amazon's sandbox. And Amazon does not play by the same rules as lawyers and anything in the legal realm. They do some shady stuff, and there's not really a whole lot you can do there. And then you got to think, do I want to pay to go to battle with Continental Mills? Is that worth my business, my time, my tearing my hair out? No, it's not. They're not worth it to me. I really hate selling their stupid pancake mix because it always gets broken in the damn mail, and I'm not really a big fan of selling their stuff. All
So
right.
there, take that, Continental Mills.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, no, I'm not going to say anything bad like that. But I may run, as I drive by, I may flip them off as I'm going. That's probably the worst I would ever do. But they are really, I could walk to their front door. That's how close I am. All right. Rhode Island. Rhode Island novelty. If you've ever been to ASD, you probably have a Rhode Island account. They sell tchotchkes, toys,
Kind of
garbage.
crappy stuff. Yeah, just crappy kid party toys,
Yeah.
carnival
And
toys.
they sent out an email the other night asking about getting KYC'd, that they needed you to provide stuff, information, and it was a total hack account. So I hope nobody fell victim to that. But this is a good reminder that, like the lawyers can say anything to you, hackers will say anything to you to get you to, do what they want to provide some sort of incentive. And there's been some very funny YouTube videos of people messing with them, like saying that they're going to Target while they're filming it. Oh, I'm going to Target to get those gift cards for the Prince of Persia that needs them. Just wait a minute, and they string them along, and I find it absolutely hilarious to listen to get back at them a little bit. I had a spammer that almost got to me. They called and they said to get my trademark moved along, I needed to be verified, and I just needed to pay this extra $225 for processing. And she kept going round and round and round with me, because I'm like, well, then I'll log into my trademark account and I'll pay that. I'll see that bill right on my account, right? Oh, no, no, no. You need to pay it right now. And she figured out I was on to her. She
It
hung up.
was me. It was me. I was the telemarketer.
I don't think you could fake that accent.
You don't know. I get the fake emails. I know we all get those too, where, Amazon has frozen my payment accounts. And so the email itself looks official with the Amazon logo, but when you look at the send from address,
Mm-hmm.
you can always tell that it's not really from Amazon. So those I think we all get on a semi-regular basis.
Nate asks if that's what happened with Quaker Oats pumpkin spice. I believe Quaker is a different company than Continental
Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah.
I would have to
Okay.
check, but
Yeah, I
I'm
feel like
9%
Quaker
sure.
Oats. Yeah.
All right, we've got questions that have been posted. Again, if you post any questions on Tina or I's channel, we will get to them and answer them the best we can. And this is a good time to remember to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to Tina, she is Online Selling with Tina. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. We're trying to get her up to the 1,000 member mark. That is our goal for, I don't know, we didn't set a timeline, but it's a goal.
It's a goal.
All
Nobody
right.
likes me. Nobody likes me. The Quaker Oats company, I Googled it really quickly, and the parent company is shocking to me who it is. Take a wild guess.
I thought it was General Mills or something.
That's what I would have thought. It's Pepsi.
Did Pepsi? I swear people keep changing who they work for. It did not be owned by Pepsi
It
the whole
says,
time. That doesn't ever
I
work.
know it doesn't help. You can see it there.
I can't see anything.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
blind. No. All right. Next question. I want to sell baby wipes or diapers that are in a box unit that has individual packs in them. Would I just be able to label the box, the unit box they came in, and put them in a case box and label the case box ready to ship to Amazon? In theory, yeah. I do that all the time when things come in already prepackaged. I just label that and move on. Keep on
Me
doing.
too. Me too, because it's super easy. And look, when the customer's getting it, it's already coming in the manufacturer's case pack box. It looks very professional.
Yes, you're going to want to make sure you cover up any barcodes that could be confusing. So, oh, okay, this one's
And I
very nice.
super love it. Thank you. I had only really just discovered it the very day that I made that video. But yeah, that's such a cool feature in Canva that Facebook user is responding about. You can create a really cool, just like landing page website using Canva, and it's so easy. And what made me think about that video or doing this is some wholesale account um, vendors want to see that you have a website in order to get an account. They're not just satisfied with that you have a tax reseller ID or even a business account. If you're not a brick and mortar store, they want to see that you have your own online store. So in Canva, you can create a free website, but the landing page is like a canva.com type of a uh, what do you call URL? So you would have to actually buy your domain. But if you're just trying to promote a product that is possibly a bundle that you create for those that are in our bundle group, or you're a private label seller, you can create such an awesome landing page, as many, I think up to like 6 pages long. And you can use this page to promote your product on Facebook or through Pinterest and have something look very, very professional.
They said they also love the video on Pinterest. I have to watch
Mm.
those 2 videos, and then there's another one that I've got to rewatch. And it is for if you are experiencing the generic error code. Tina has a video walking through on if you're already approved to make generic listings and you're getting that error code, how to make a case and get past that. So I have to double check on that. Melinda asks, I need a repricer. Any recommendation? I currently
Be
have
cool.
Amazon's repricer and I've exceeded the 5,000 SKUs. We both use Be Cool. I don't have anything against it. The other one is Profit Protector Pro and Aura. Is that the top two?
Yeah, I think Aura is the other one. But Be Cool is the most I feel cost effective, and it does if you use the more expensive plan, which is $100 a month. Um, it has AI. You can do AI repricing there. And just another tip that I do, and maybe you do or don't do this, Melinda, is when I am creating my batches in Inventory Lab, if you use Inventory Lab, you can customize the way your SKU is populated into the Amazon catalog, your private SKU that you see. And I always incorporate what I paid for the item in Inventory Lab so that SKU populates into my Amazon seller account. So when you are doing your manual, if you do manual repricing or if you continue to use Amazon's repricer, you have a cheat sheet of sorts in your account to where you automatically see what you paid for an item. And that's a great tip for people who manually reprice. Sometimes I am not in Be Cool and I'm in Amazon thinking maybe I need to go adjust my repricer, and you can do the quick math because in Amazon you see in your SKU what you paid for it. You see Amazon's fees right there. You can just add those two together to know how low you are willing to go. And if you're already priced at that lowest point, then there you have your answer. Otherwise, you would have to open up Be Cool and go in there and reprice it.
Good morning, Scott. Bearded Picker says he uses Aura since they started. Nice results. Yeah, all 3 of those. I think you'll find a lot of people that love them or hate them.
Yeah.
In the end, whichever one you're more comfortable with
Yeah.
and can utilize, because it's nothing like having a tool or a software and you struggle with the buttons and everything. I went from Channel Max to Be Cool and I struggled with Channel Max. I could not understand how to get the results that I wanted with the setup and everything. And I just felt that I could understand Be Cool. And they've always been good at answering my questions, but I've had a lot of people love Aura as well. And I've had
Yeah.
people that have left either of those and joined the other and said that the other is better than the previous.
Yeah. I think they're definitely the top two.
Yeah, I would say that as well. Somebody's asking about receipts. Was wondering if we should do if we have actual retail receipts, and this is for either ungating or for IP complaints. I don't remember where I pulled this one. We've scanned them and have them accessible on the app or the website, but unfortunately won't list our address shown similarly on the receipt submitted. How do you proceed? With any sort of invoice and or receipt for fighting any sort of violation and or ungating, if it is not working with what you currently have, you either need to get what it's asking for or annotate it. So if you're getting a kickback because your invoice doesn't have the company's website, annotate the company's website down below, take a screenshot of the company's address, of the URL and the date and timestamp of your computer screen and submit that along with it. If it is not showing the right address and it's somebody else's address, like say you have somebody shopping for you and it's their address, you need to get that into your account somehow. So you can have authorized people in your account and you can have more than one address. So you just got to make sure you either fix what needs to be fixed and or annotate what needs to be fixed, and just show, like, let's say you have an employee and it's their address on the receipt. You could say that this employee works for me and they work at this address, but the receipt was tied to theirs, and it may not work. Amazon's very stickler on when they look at their cases. They're going down their checkpoints. They're going to look and they're looking for name, address, whatever their points are. And it's a very quick look. So if they have to go dig in and do some actual thinking and put two brain cells together, it's going to get kicked back and not work.
And I have something to add on the receipt. When you have a receipt and
Mhm.
not an invoice, one of the things I have done and won my case with only using a store receipt is I have highlighted on the receipt, because I always use my business credit card. I always highlight the last four number because it will show like paid with Visa 1234. And I make sure that I annotate that on my receipt saying that it matches my credit card on file with Amazon, because this is also the same credit card that I use with Amazon on my business account. Then I also point out, and this is not TJ Maxx or Marshall type of receipts. I'm talking Target, Walmart, the big box stores. And I also make sure that I say in my letter to Amazon in my case that I purchased this at an authorized, nationally recognized store, Walmart or Target, and that these stores only buy authentic merchandise. They are an authorized distributor. And when you word it that way, that seems to do the trick for those stores. I can't say that I have fought or won a case for a Marshall or a TJ Maxx receipt.
All right. Bearded Picker Scott says Channel Max was tough for me too. I tried, I couldn't do it. And then Chris, good morning, Chris. How do you find good FBM products to sell, bolos, etc., instead of FBA for fast flips? I would, if you ask me right now, I would target whatever holiday people need their stuff really fast for and or meltable. So like Easter and chocolate. People are going to be wanting those types of things. Very fast flipping toys, something that's really hot. During Q4, there's always the hot set of toys or Legos or whatnot. I can't think of too much more in the springtime other than Easter. Do you have any ideas there?
For fast fulfilled by merchant products to sell as um, fulfilled by merchant, you can do a lot of things, really. I keep both fulfilled by merchant and FBA all year long. I know several sellers that do only clothing and they only do fulfilled by merchant. So it
Yeah.
seems like a lot of clothes will still sell very well as fulfilled by merchant. Um, Slides sell all year long, sandals, they sell even during the winter. And obviously, listings that don't have a ton of competition. Um, or if you create your own listing, right, and you're the only seller on it and you do your own listing creations, you can sell it fulfilled by merchant because you're the only one selling it. So, like anybody else will tell you, it's getting out in the stores and scanning stuff and looking at Keepa and doing your research.
You're gonna want to get on items that don't have, in my opinion, either they need to flip really, really fast. The rank has to be really, really fast, and or not a whole lot of FBA competition. So
Oh, and when you mention meltables, you can buy ice packs that you can sell meltables during the summer fulfilled by merchant. You're going to have low competition because they can't be stored at Amazon's warehouses. And so a lot of people aren't messing with meltables in the summer due to the heat. But if you get really great ice packs and mailers that help contain the coldness of those ice packs, you can do a lot of fulfilled by merchant meltables during the summer. So I hope that helps you out.
April says, did a bundle then in shipment? It's under review for hazmat, body wash, underarm deodorant. Can I see this before prepping and labeling? No, you're just going to have to learn the different categories. Anything that is a soap, anything that's a soap, lotion, beauty item will go into hazmat review. And it typically takes about 4 days, and then it will be deemed non-dangerous, and then you will be lifted and ready to go. That's assuming that it is a brand or thing that's kind of similar. Let's say you had, where's my lotion I always use? Let's say that this single was already selling on Amazon and my bundle was a 2-pack of this. Then Amazon already knows that this is on, with a single pack. And so the hazmat will go through pretty quick because they're already familiar with that brand. Happens to all my Bath and Body Works. Every Bath and Body Works bundle that I make goes into hazmat review, lasts about 4 days. So I usually mock up those bundles on the earlier side because I know it's going to take a few days to get through that. And or if you make a bundle, get it listed, get it shipped, get it packed quicker than it gets flagged hazmat, you can get it out the door faster. But I tried to do that the other day and I missed it. And I think I was about 3 hours from listing to when I could get it out the door. And that was not enough. How much is generally too much FBA competition? Ooh.
Well, that really varies. So, it varies. If it's an item that has 100 sellers and everybody has one in stock and it sells 100 units a month, you have to look at the data of that item. So I generally, because there's not a one answer fits all. There could be a very slow moving item, yet it sells, and maybe it sells 20 units a month and there's 3 sellers on it with 100 units in stock. Amazon is still going to rotate the buy box, but how long is it going to take your item to sell out? So really you need to look at the item on Keepa. If you have the nice calculator tools on your Amazon dashboard, you can get a rough idea of how many units sell a month, how many sellers are on the listing, and how many they sell in stock. And then you can also even look at the data tab to see how often the buy box is rotating. Sometimes I've seen listings that have 20 sellers and only 2 people are really rotating the buy box, and the other sellers are not really getting the buy box at all. So, I mean, you can overanalyze any single product to death.
Different categories will have different parameters around rank. And for me, seasons plays into it. If I found an awesome deal on sunscreen right now, and let's say it was hazmat and I didn't want to send it in, and I was looking at FBM, that's going to be a lot different going into the summer than it is going into Christmas. Whereas Legos, opposite, Legos going into Q4, I would totally be fine merchant fulfilling those. But right now, Legos are kind of not as fast moving at this time of the year. So it depends on a lot of factors.
I built a Lego set not too long ago, my husband and I.
What did you build?
The orchids, the Lego orchids.
I used to do so much Legos when I was a kid. I loved Legos. All right. Compliance document question. How do I get a document from another seller? You don't get documents from other sellers unless if that seller is also the manufacturer, brand owner, or distributor in any sorts. You can get compliance documents from a number of different things. My favorite is Google. Like Google has a lot of stuff out there. It's pretty big. It's fascinating. You can go to the company's website to find compliance paperwork. You can call and or email the company with compliance questions and asking for compliance paperwork. And we talked about this yesterday in our lives in the bundle group. But when you call the company, if I'm calling to get compliance paperwork for Amazon, I don't call and say, hey, I'm selling your stuff on Amazon. I need the compliance paperwork. I call and I say, hey, my friend put on your lotion and she's having a bit of a reaction. Can I get the MSDS, please? So, and or maybe she's worried about a reaction, because if you say there's a reaction, then they might be, well, geez, let's make sure we don't have any liability issues, and they might want to know about the incident. But make up a cover story and call the company. But I've called and talked to people and said, I'm a small business. We have it in the office. I need the MSDS, and MSDS is now called SDS sheets. It used to be called MSDS. Are not super secret. They are supposed to be at any location that is buying and selling said product, so that if there's any problem with the product, they know how to handle the emergency. It has emergency stuff if you get it in your eye, if you ingest it, if your kid ingests it, if there's a fire, storage compliance regulations, ecological stuff. If it falls into the lake, is it going to kill all the fish, etc. So don't be afraid to ask the company, and that's probably the best place. Your distributor will have it as well. So if you get something from an authorized distributor, they will have the MSDS paperwork as well. If you've been selling a product that hasn't been made for over a year, how do you meet the invoice within 365-day requirement? They haven't had this happen yet, but what would they do if that happened? I have submitted invoices that were over 365 and won my case. So I would submit. Have you ever had to submit an old invoice, Tina?
I have not, but I would, because, and then I would just explain that this vendor no longer carries this product. While my invoice is over 365 days, I would show how many I've bought, how many I have actually sold on Amazon, and I wouldn't be too scared to submit it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else you can do. I would not Photoshop the invoice. Don't Photoshop the invoice. You can annotate the invoice. Don't Photoshop the invoice.
And you
That's a
can
different.
annotate it in Canva, because you guys know I'm a big fan of using Canva. In
Mhm.
Canva, you can upload a PDF and you can annotate a PDF and then re-download it still as a PDF.
Yep, yep, yep. NAICS codes. There was a few questions around this. If I have this, what's my code? If I have that, what's my code? There are usually a few different codes that will fit your description. This question in particular is around private label, but they're still doing online retail, so it's all online retail. It doesn't matter how you obtain the thing; it's online e-commerce retail. That's your
Mhm.
code. If you do a hybrid or do other parts of business and whatnot, maybe another code fits you better. Let's say you have a brick and mortar, but you also sell on eBay. You may want a code that is more towards brick and mortar. Don't get too hung up on the code. The code is
Yeah.
just for other people to kind of see where your business is. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, if it's in the close realm of what you do, that's fine. It's not like
Yeah,
it's going to say that you are a hospital worker.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Do it close enough. Close enough. Quick question. Is it possible for me to have 10 SKUs shipped together in one box, and one of those SKUs to have an Amazon FSNKU and the other to have manufacturer barcodes, or will I be charged to change the labels? I believe you have to pick one or the other. You cannot have
Hmm.
mixed. You can switch, but I think in the same box you have to have all one.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't, but that makes sense to me, because that's just the way the shipping is created. I because the either shipping as a whole is one way or the other. I don't think you can commingle that. But I can't say for sure. I've never tried it.
I have never tried it either, but I want to say it has to be the same. You know what? Try it. And if it doesn't work, then you know your answer. I don't have anything with the manufacturer's barcode. I don't trust them at all.
Ever. I don't trust that either. I I've heard horror stories in my early years of selling on Amazon, so I just stayed away with it or from it. Because if you are commingling, because that's essentially commingling when you're just sending it in the barcode that way, if you're not having Amazon label it for you. But when you're just sending it in it as commingled inventory, who's to say that some other seller sent in an authentic item or one that was in good selling condition? And now your customer got that item and you're the one taking the hit and the ding on your account. So I think it's always best to put your own FNSKU label on your item, Or if you're someone who doesn't want to do that, go ahead and, I would case pack my items in if you want to pay the whatever it is, 20 cents an item for Amazon to label it for you. But then you're also trusting the warehouse workers if it's a box of a bunch of different things, you're having them labeling it correctly. So you got to your battles.
The other thing I would say is this is not applying to those that private label and have their own UPC code. So if you private label and you have a GS1 barcode and you want to send it in just with that barcode, and maybe you're going straight from your manufacturer into the Amazon warehouse, then you don't worry because you're not commingling with anybody because you're the only seller on there.
That's right. That's right. Well, Nate, isn't that the question we all want to know?
I hate the new way.
Yes, I will not use it. I do times and I will not. And on the other, so every time I do it, I click the other box and I write snarky as to why.
And now Tina's on their watch list. They have a little
Yes,
picture of Tina up going, watch out for this one. All right, next
I
question.
say things like, don't fix what's not broke, or I simply just do not like it.
Next question. So I have a brand new pair of shoes, never worn, but no box or wrong box. Would bags be okay to send in?
Well, that depends on what it is. If it is shoes and you do not have the original manufacturer's box, if you look at Amazon's policies and rules on that for selling shoes, you are allowed to send it in a plain brown shoe box, and you can buy those on Amazon. I have had shoes that were brand new that customers returned, and Amazon sent it to me in a plain brown box, and I have then sold those shoes back on Amazon with no problem. But ask yourself, what brand of shoe is it? And are you likely to get a complaint when that customer doesn't get those high-end Nikes in the original Nike box? Again, just take your own risk to take. Now, if it is sandals or slides that don't come in a shoe box, absolutely polybag them. That's what I do. If they're slippers, just choose your battles. That's what I always say.
If I bought the shoes from somewhere where I didn't have a receipt or I had a receipt that wouldn't hold up to a authenticity violation, then no, I am not going to send them in without the box. I'm going to flip them over on eBay. If I have a good receipt, then I am a little bit more flexible because I can prove authenticity much more. No, we're not going to sell any Crocs, Reno. But yeah, Crocs go in a poly bag.
I believe Crocs is coming after people. I saw a couple people post that they got, I don't know if it was IP or what on Crocs. So I don't know how true that is. Is it Crocs as a whole? I cannot say for sure. But Crocs have always been such a great seller.
Yeah. Crocs and Crocs accessories, the stupid things that you put in the holes, those sell. And I'm going,
I think they're called gibbets or something like that. I can't remember what those are called. It's a weird word. Why is that a naughty word?
Well, I've heard
because you laughed like it was a naughty word.
Some people refer to their parts as giblets. I don't know.
Oh, I never heard that.
There's a lot of words you could use. I don't know. My roommate, temporary roommate who is finding a place, his 15-month-old puppy needed to be and got fixed this week. So there's been a lot of commentary around giblets.
See, I thought that was like from a turkey, or is that a giblet, I guess?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure it's just, there's a lot of terms. All right, moving on. I have a question about sales tax. When you've had to pay it, are you putting that amount in inventory lab as a cost of goods, or are you putting it in a separate line item, or not at all since you get reimbursed? My go-to is to work it into the cost of goods in inventory lab. And then if I get reimbursed for it, then that counts as income because then it's flush both ways. There is no, talk to your CPA, of course, but you can do it kind of any of the way as long as you're accounting for it and you're not changing how you account for it. You want to be consistent on however you account for it, be the same. When I do shipping supplies, all my shipping supplies is a separate line item on my QuickBooks. Some people work their shipping supplies into the cost of goods, but again, pick one or the other and stick with it. You can't change your mind mid year very easily. It'd be hard to keep that separate if you changed your mind. What do you do, Tina? Do you work it into your cost of goods?
I wasn't really paying attention. I'm sorry. I was looking up the crock thing
Oh my
to
God,
see what they were called.
the important stuff.
Yeah, they are
All right.
called gibbets.
Gibbets.
Gibbets. What did I say? Is that what I said
You might
earlier?
have said
Gibbet?
gibbets.
I don't know. Who cares?
Giblets, giblets,
But then
gibbets.
I had to know.
All right. Well, now I learned something completely useless in life. Thank you, Tina.
You're
But
very welcome.
I'm going to forget that one probably. Uh, so in your cost of goods, do you work in sales tax and or packaging stuff? What do you do?
I when I am in an inventory lab for my cost of goods,
Yep.
when a lot of my items are shipped to me and I pay shipping. And so if there's tax, if it wasn't tax free, if it was a taxed purchase, yes, I take the tax. I also take the cost of the shipping and I add that up. And then I divide it, as far as how many items are in that shipment. So if it adds 23 cents to each item, I add that in to the cost of the goods in inventory lab.
What if it needed a box and your box was 50 cents? Do you add the
I
box?
add that. Yes. So if I have to buy a box, if I'm making a bundle per se of, two cookie mixes and they need to go down in a box and that box costs me 50 cents, I also add that as part of my cost of goods. So I don't because I want to know what my final profit is going to be of all the cost into that bundle or product.
What about polybags? Polybags usually run about 10 cents. Do you add that?
I do not. With poly bags, no. I already know that those are being written off as shipping costs. I feel like they add such a tiny amount to each item that I'm shipping in, at 10 cents a bag. That look, if I am if I'm not making far more than 10 cents on an item already, then I shouldn't be selling it. I don't worry about the 10
Yeah,
cents.
yeah. No, I'm not saying worry. We just got to account it for somewhere in
Yeah,
your
no,
business
yeah,
expenses.
but no, I never count the poly bag. Do you?
No, I do all my shipping supplies, bags, tissue, tape, and everything are a line item on my QuickBooks. Shipping
Hmm.
to me, like let's say the freight was $200 for that pallet, I do the same thing. I break it down by item and I add it into the cost of goods. Sometimes I will do it by, let's say it consists of 5 different bundles and there's 3 items per bundle, then I'll math it out that way. Sometimes I'll do it straight per item. Sometimes I'll divide it out. If it's let's say have a whole bunch of rocks and then a whole bunch of feathers, I'll do it by weight or a little bit more skewed towards the heavier items, but it will go into the cost of goods, and then tax goes into my cost of goods as well in inventory lab. This may be a silly question. When you get your tax exempt certificate, does that make your tax return more difficult? For your federal taxes, no, it does not really work into that in terms of difficulty. You do have to start paying and doing whatever your state tax is. So I have to go in quarterly and put in what did I purchase, what did I pay in taxes, what sold, and all of those numbers are pulled in a combination between A to X and reports. But my CPA does a lot of that work for me. So I don't know if I'd be able to explain how I do that. Would it be more difficult? It probably is a little bit more difficult, but you still have to, like, whether you're tax exempt or not, you should be signed up with your state and doing state taxes as a business. So if you're not signed up with your state and you're not following whatever your state rules are, you probably need to look into that and see what you got to do. Do you have anything to add on that one? Do you think it?
No, I do the same. And then I have notes. So I'm so organized with my notes and my notices. So I don't have to pay quarterly sales tax in my state because Amazon collects it and remits it on my behalf. However, I do have to file quarterly, and I do that online through my sales tax website that my state offers, but I do have to file quarterly that I am claiming zero and sending in zero. So I still have to do a task. I just don't have to pay anything. And then quarterly, of course, I pay my quarterly taxes for my business.
Yes. And I think that's so because I'm registered in Nevada too. So for that, I just do a zero across the board. Like I'm not
Mhm.
really shopping down there and doing anything. For Washington, I had recently found out that I can get reimbursed for sales tax. So if I do replens at Target, you're always going to be paying sales tax at Target. And here it's about 10%. So that's an extra 10% in my cost of goods, which makes it hard to be competitive on certain items. So I can get reimbursed for that now. And I recently found that out what was it? Oh, the yard people are here. About December. And I can go back and submit for reimbursement for the last 4 years. So I quickly got 2018 done because the end of the year was coming. I got it done like a Thursday before New Year's. And then the rest of it I submitted, and my guy told me he was about to wrap it up. And I'm looking at over a $20,000 return for sales tax. So was it worth? I spent weeks putting that together, and one of my gals did a lot of the data entry. So I probably spent about 40 hours in labor for people to do data entry. Was that 40 hours of labor worth $20,000?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So figure out what your state does. Do they reimburse you for sales tax? Because then you may want to do the more complicated one like I'm doing. So now going forward quarterly, I will say, and I got to go do that. That's on my tasks to do. Tally up all my receipts from January, February, March, April for Q1 and work that into my return. And I do a more complicated one for my sales tax in Washington. But to me, it's worth it because it's a little over $1,000 each quarter. All right. Long answer to maybe something that was not didn't need to be so long. How do I print an FBM label after the shipment was confirmed and don't see an option to reprint? Go into the order and you'll be able to reprint it. There's a reprint button if you go
There
into.
is, because I've had to do that many times where I've printed out my shipping label and put it either on the wrong box or package and couldn't pull it off, or my computer had a malfunction and didn't print. And you can go in to the order history and reprint your label.
I am going to find it because it's not intuitive. And I got another shipment ding. So I put out a video last week. I let my two packers go. I don't want to sit here and gripe about them, but in the last week, I have found that they left my vacuum cleaner completely clogged. They violated the trash policy here and put a bunch of junk in recycling, and I almost got a $180 bill for that. And I have worked through 3 shipment errors that they left me while I was in ASD, that they packed things wrong. So my irritation level, people keep asking me, am I going to hire again? I'm absolutely going to hire again, but I need to have some time of recouping from all of the messes that they have.
Trauma. She has
Oh,
PTSD, Packer
yeah,
traumatic
you knew
syndrome
it.
disorder.
Oh, I'm just so like every day it's been just irritated with them. All right, it is called edit shipment. That's why it's not intuitive. It's edit shipment, and then you can go in there and print the packing list again. I was thinking about that. Okay, I want to pop on this thing really quick because gee, Christmas, I don't want to forget it, and I feel like I'm going to forget it if I don't share it right now. For those that are looking at Meltable, Perry and Kim, these guys always put out, and they are a great Facebook group to go and follow. Go follow them. They don't know me or anything like that, but I troll them. I like them. And they offer all sorts of things. And this is a Meltable inventory, how to set up and figure out what your inventory is that's meltable. Huge, 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 great thing to do. You just go download this PDF, follow their instructions. I haven't done it yet, but I've done it in years past. And you're able to like take your ASINs, copy it in, it cross looks at it, and then whatever it is. But if you are wanting to know what multiples you have in your inventory, you can go follow them. I will put a link. Let's see here. I'll put a link to it in the chat. And that way y'all can click the link over there and A, subscribe, and B, do what they say. Next question. I only got about 5 questions left. So if you have any questions that you're wanting to know, go ahead and pop them in the chat right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. The next video is there something we have to do on the back end of Seller Central to get the option of small and light? Yes. To get the
Just
option
do
of
it
it.
the quick and roll.
Say what? Yeah, you just do
the quick and roll.
Let's see here. For small and light report. Oh, okay. We'll talk about 2 things. So small and light, find the link and then bookmark it, because I don't know, it's hard to find the link. When you do it, do quick and roll. That's the easiest. Copy and paste your MSKUs into that quick and roll. The easiest way to get that, if you're using Inventory Lab, go to your FBA inventory, export the data, sort it, do every list price, everything under $12 and a penny, and then copy the MSKUs and paste them into the small and light, into the quick and roll. It literally takes me 5 minutes to go through once a week and add small and light to the options. Now, to get the report on what is small and light that you have enrolled, somebody was gracious and wrote down the how-to. It's under reports, fulfillment, small and light, inventory request download. And that's it. So you know what? I'll copy and paste that one over into the chat as well, because that would be good. Let's see here. Oh, Reno put the link for small and light. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Small and light has saved me tons of money. Like, I should have joined that program a long time before. And now that it's up to $12, I recently went through and redid 2 of my variation listings that were both selling pretty decent, and dropped all the prices down to $11.99, enrolled them into small and light, and I actually make more than having them up at the higher dollar price. So it can help you with a lot of different things. All right. Next question. So right now you can't integrate your FBM seller. You can't integrate your Amazon seller account, but it's okay to send FBA using Pirate Ship. I think they're talking about the shipments and the workflow again. You can use Pirate Ship to do shipments. In fact, I'm going to do a hazard shipment today. It's Friday. Shoot, I got to get that done today. And use Pirate Ship to ship that out. But as far as regular FBA shipments, you can use the new workflow, or you can use the old workflow and still use the UPS integration, their partner program. What is not working is the new workflow with Inventory Lab. Am I correct on that? They have not fixed it yet?
No, not that I know of.
The last I saw was they were working on that integration to have Inventory Lab flow into the new workflow with Amazon, but I don't think we're there yet.
I don't think so.
If I'm wrong, let me know, because I have not seen that come out. I got a suspected IP violation and seller support has me running in circles. Really? Yeah, don't.
Really? That's shocking.
At this point, should I contact a lawyer for a suspected IP violation?
No.
Suspected
Don't waste
is
your money.
just found by the robots. All suspected is they robot found you. And you can get hit with all sorts of stupid stuff. Go ahead and edit the listing, get the words that are not good taken out, and then click the edit button. Reversely, if it's not your listing, go ahead, sell out, delete the listing, then go in and say that you have edited and or delete, and the robot will run again and they'll find that you're in compliance. So very easy to get out of. I get those like weekly. I feel like I'm always violating something, Tina. I feel like I violate every week. It's something. On the bra, this is the last question, so get your questions in now or forever hold your peace. On the bra, do you remove the store clearance $8 tag and put yours on the poly bag? Yeah.
Of course you remove the tag.
Do not leave clearance tags on anything. I did order, what was it? I ordered a game for my kids and somebody left the Target clearance sticker on there. I almost messaged them, but I didn't want to get them in trouble. I just chuckled at it. But yes, remove the clearance tag. You want to make it as presentable as possible. And this is where you got to kind of use your common sense. I recently took a product and started boxing it over bagging it because I had a high frequency of people getting things broken. And it was because Amazon keeps putting them in a freaking flat rate mailer, and stop doing that. This is a box item and there's no way to really do that. I also took my 4x6 Dymo labels and printed on there ready to ship, and I'm putting those on things that I want. I'm trying to get them to put more stuff in boxes, less in those stupid bags that get crushed. FBA Poppy says, why am I starting to be gated in things I was ungated in before? Because that company or brand has been locking down. Period. They go through and do that. It's lovely, isn't it? But like Continental Mills, I will assume that Continental Mills is going through brand registry and getting onboarded with Amazon to control that market. And when they do, they can go to Amazon and say, we want to now restrict our product, and then get locked down. That's what Bath and Body Works did. I am no longer able to list under Bath and Body Works very well, and they are going through that to lock it down and get sellers off of Amazon, which I think is stupid. I mean, especially for the older scents that are retired. But I can no longer, when you go to apply for GTIN exemption, you cannot do it for Bath and Body Works anymore. So companies and brands, they change things all the time. I have been regated in almost every brand I was gated in. I'm going to assume you meant ungated in, regated. That
Yeah,
happens.
I think she's this referring to like what FBA Poppy says. So yeah, like Squishmallow, how we were able to sell Squishmallow, then they put the lockdown, and then we had to ungate again with invoices. Funko has done that to people.
Yep. Yeah. Funko's done it for Legos. Legos is really easy to get ungated in. Just go to legos.com, order a keychain, order 10 keychains, find the listing on Amazon. But their keychains from lego.com will ungate you for Lego again, if you don't get automatically approved.
Yeah, I see your comment, Melissa. Thank you. Yeah, my husband and I love Manhattan. We love New York City. We used to run around there quite a bit as teenagers. So um, we have a few things in my house. I have a few things like Manhattan, and one of my rooms is more Paris themed. And I'm a lover of big hustle bustle cities.
We went to New York. My husband had to go for work, and I went with him for a weekend. It was the quickest New York. I want to go back so bad. But I'm from Vegas, right? I'm from where Tina is, really close to where Tina is. In fact, I'm surprised we didn't run into each other in the 24 years I was there. But anyhow, we were in New York, and we went and saw where 9/11 hit. They were in the middle of making that, whatever it is now, Fountain Memorial Site. And there were some street vendors, and we bought some pictures from there. We got them home, and I had them on my wall for a long time. And one of them was actually of the New York, and Las Vegas.
I have pictures of me on top of the World Trade Center when it was a standing building. The very first time I went there into the top of that building, I was 15 years old. And so I have pictures of me up there. And again, in high school, we used to go there a lot. When I lived in New Jersey, we were just slightly over an hour away from Manhattan. So as teenagers, we used to leave the farm country where we were at New Jersey and go in to Manhattan. And I spent many, many days in that city. I love it there.
Scott says, yuck, he would take the wide open spaces of the South. You can have your cities.
I
like
love
Vermont.
both. I do too. I love the country and rivers and lakes, especially when I want to relax. But to live there, I get very bored. And then I also love the hustle and bustle of an exciting city because it's just, I don't know, it just motivates me. I just feel the thrill of it. So if I
I
could,
like
I
the
would live in
history.
both.
I don't think I could live in it. I like the history. I like to visit. I like to see the landmarks and the things that you
Yeah.
see on TV and you hear about and read about. But I'm with Scott. In fact, my husband jokes. I like the show Alone, right, where they go out and the person left in the forest long enough wins $1 million, and I love that. And my husband's like, you cannot join that because you would never come back. I there's a hippie spot down in Oregon where it's all, they do the mud huts out of hay, and it's all a community, and you don't you like go off the grid. You're done. You're off the grid. And if I ever disappear, that's where I'll be, Tina. That's my
Off the
go-to.
grid.
I will be off the grid and gone. And he knows that I could do it and I would do it, and I could be on alone because I could go a month without talking to somebody. I'd be fine. I would be totally fine not talking to anybody. Let's see here. Facebook user, somebody mentioned in one of the groups how to get Amazon to stop shipping the box and item and instead of putting it in another box. Someone said to put the boxed products I'm sending into an Amazon into a polybag bag and then send it in. I have tried that too, and it does help, but I don't think they've gotten really lax. I ordered some t-shirts the other day and they just sent the poly bag with the clear poly bag with the shirt in it and slapped the freaking label on it. So they've gotten really chintzy on their shipping parameters, and I think they need to save some money. They have had Amazon FBA has been losing a lot of money. And so you have seen the chargebacks on shipments. You've seen the decrease in, shipping parameters, things that they would have normally put into a bag. They're saving on that cost. And I don't know. I'm going to try the ready to ship labels and see what happens. And the next step would be to take that box and put that box into a poly bag and then slap it with a ready to ship and see what they do. But the downside is they will probably increase my fees on that item because the box adds a little bit of dimension. They've been bad on dimensions too. They have been randomly changing things and increasing the poundage, increasing the dimensional weight, and that. And I'm like, I think it's intentional. That's my conspiracy theory part of my brain goes. It's intentional to make some money because they are losing it. So my last question, since you guys are in Vegas, are you going to the new Sphere when it
Sphere when it
opens?
opens.
I'll
Um,
probably take the kids there when we go.
yes, I definitely want to go there. I haven't even been to the new resorts world. It's funny when you
Me
live here a
neither.
lot of times, I'm just like, eh. It's like what people think it's like when you live in Vegas, what it's like when you travel to Vegas. It's different, very, very different.
It is. It is. And when we used to go, we'll take the kids to like the things we've gone and seen the dolphins and the tigers and whatnot. But like when I'm there, I'm usually with my kids and I can't just take them out clubbing or anything yet. Got a few years on that one. Not too much longer. Not too much longer. We'll probably take my son there for his 21st. Take him down to some club. I don't even know where it's cool to go anymore. We used to go down and get Jello shots after work at the MGM, but yeah, Nate says, yeah, it's kind of like people here think that I go get my fish at the people throwing the fish down at Pike's Place. No, I go to Wajamaya's like a normal person for fish.
And
And so,
and what is Wajamaya's for the rest of us that are like
oh, it's a
not
it's a
familiar with your
Japanese
city?
grocery store.
Okay.
I love it. I love that store. We have a lot of different ethnic grocery stores around here, but for fish, I'd definitely go there. But most of us shop at the Safeway and the Fred Meyers. We don't go down to Pike's Place, although it is fun and wonderful to visit. It's like the Strip. You just don't go there very often.
Right.
Was there yesterday dropped off wallpaper at where? The Jello shop place or at the
No,
Dome?
I think he means the sphere.
The
And
Sphere?
that's what I'm thinking.
What's it going to be? Isn't it lights and stars or something?
This is what I think it is. I really need to look into what it is. Because when I was a kid growing up here, we used to have a dome just like that, and it was a movie theater inside. Now, it wasn't like your regular movies that are coming out. It was experience. And so if it was the solar system, I mean, when you're sitting in the chair, the whole ceiling, everything around you, things were happening. Did you ever go to that as a child here?
Yeah,
It
the
was by
Caesars.
Caesar's Palace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went there like every year for a field trip.
Yeah, because it's so cool. And so I've thought that that's what this fear is. And I'm sure they've talked about it on the news, but I just really don't watch the news unless I want to see what the weather is going to be, which is a rare occasion because our weather is mostly the same all year. So, yeah, I live here and I don't even pay attention.
That's all right. That's all right. There's always stuff going on in Vegas. It's hard to keep up with the ins and the outs and all of that. I hope it has like, big kind of IMAX TV things going on. I would love to go see one on dinosaurs or something like that.
Hmm.
Get an experience, or even like the ocean. If they could do a Titanic one, or something
Oh,
that
that
was
would be
really
really
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Great Barrier Reef, anything like that would be just amazing to
Yeah.
go
And,
see.
and I'm guessing it's that. So, yeah, if anyone knows it's anything else,
We're making stuff up. Don't come here for
while I'm like 15 minutes away, or could just Google it.
we could. You googled the giblets. Gibbets.
Gibbets. Yeah,
Gibbet.
gibbets. Yeah, that's a cross
Did
between
they
a
make it
gibbet
up?
and a giblet, huh?
Did they make that word up? They made that word up.
I'm sure. I don't know.
That's not a real word. Kind of
I'm
like
not an
Crocs.
expert in little trinkets.
Crocs definitely made up their word. Is it based off a crocodile? I've never looked up the history of that. I
Danae,
don't
you are
care.
asking the things that I just don't know.
I'll go ask the robot. By the way, you can ask her what the animal of the day is. Yesterday it was bald eagle. So if you have little kids or anything, there's a lot of fun commands you could do with the robot out there. But I think we're good on questions. What are you doing for the rest of the day, Tina? What are you doing this weekend?
Always the same. Friday finance. I do the paperwork, and we are going to get a shipment out today too. We have inventory piled up and ready to go. We did a one bigger one earlier this week, so since it's Friday, I think we'll get another one out.
Nice. Yeah,
How
I've,
about
I've
you?
got an
Same.
order to get out.
Hmm.
I've got an order to get out. I've got a hazmat order to get out, and I've got to finish up the pictures for the bundle we were working on yesterday. And I've got to add a few more keywords to them.
Yeah, and if
And
you guys haven't heard that we do offer a bundle course where we do spend a lot of time in the group. If Reno is still here, I know he is in our bundles group. And so Lucy goes in there live a lot more than I do, especially since her Packers are gone. But we definitely, we definitely spend a lot of time in our bundle groups. We do a lot of hangouts. So you get a lot of one-on-one time with us. Like, yeah, there goes Reno. I've jumped in with Reno even privately to help him create listings. So it's a very hands-on group if you are ever interested in learning bundling or just making listings. So
it's
we offer
it's
that.
I will say it's like we talk all about a lot of topics here, a lot of topics, but in there we go into like real depth. When you are having an issue doing a variation listing and or having code errors, we have walkthroughs on code errors, what the code errors are, how to do it, and different topics going on. Yesterday I talked a lot about, or maybe I meant to, I can't remember if I did or not, but Amazon has been recategorizing your item based on what they feel it should be, which is so awesome. So if you get your item recategorized, how to fix that and what to do, etc. So,
Because then
you
you're
know,
losing rank or it's breaking apart children's, and
yeah,
there's just lots of goings on. And then also for those of you, which I should have mentioned earlier, if the gentleman is still watching about finding things to fulfill by merchant, we also have a BOLO group where members share BOLOs, and we do have openings in that group right now as well.
yes, we have openings in the member shared one. And then let's see, our Facebook user says they want to learn how to do bundles. Well, when you're ready, come on over. We definitely, offer a lot of stuff on like how to get trademark, how to get brand approved, how to do your listing, how to do SEO, etc. Nate says the rodeo's next month, and if I'm right, my mom said it
Hmm.
was the last rodeo in Vegas, and then they're
That's
moving.
sad. Well, I think they were going to. when I do remember this story, which was like a year ago, so she's probably more correct than me because I know she keeps up on that stuff. I knew that Vegas was going to be losing the NFR, and then they renegotiated, and I thought they got that contract back. But I just thought, wow, it has been here my entire life. And you don't think of rodeos when you think of Las Vegas, but it is a huge thing here. And they do Cowboy Christmas. I mean, Vegas was a lot, and still there are quite a few people that have horse properties. So, because you got to remember, this is the desert, and lots of people had horse ranches here. Our college has a rodeo team. So, I mean, this is the desert, and it had not only did it have the mob, but it had a lot of cowboys. And on the because the city has grown and keeps, the suburbs keep getting further and further spread out. Some of the people who have those horse properties sold their land and don't bother because there's too many homes around them, and they don't have the desert free to ride their horses. But there are still a lot of horse communities out here. So
I
yeah,
hated the rodeo there when we were on campus. They would take over UNLV and park everywhere, and you just like
it's huge.
a whole week that you just couldn't get anywhere, and they were always drunk and leaving their trash everywhere. It was obnoxious. They were very much
When
obnoxious.
I worked at Bellagio, and when it was, the NFR, and when they would do Cowboy Christmas. And it's always funny because it's a fancy hotel, the Bellagio. I mean, if you guys have seen Ocean's 11, it's a beautiful, beautiful hotel, and it's more higher end clientele. When we would leave work, we used to walk down the hallways that had like all the ballrooms where big events were held. And so during NFR, they always had the auctioneers in there selling the cattle. So obviously there were not cattle on the property, but it was a big ballroom, and there was all these cowboys in there, the Wrangler jeans and the hats, and it was like Yellowstone hit Bellagio, and they would have the cattle on a big movie screen in these rooms. We would peek in and look, and they had the guy can't do the auctioneer voice, but it was like that really fast auctioning off the cattle, and you'd see them, putting or doing their hat to. It was really cool.
Crystal says in Tuscan, Arizona, Tucson.
Tucson.
Tucson. I've got food on the brain. We literally take a week off of school for the rodeo. It's
It's
huge.
big here too, yeah, because you guys are also desert, so it's the same climate and environment as we have here. Yeah, so fun.
Yep, I've never been as a visitor, so I always just had to walk around them trying to get to class and complaining about the parking and the drinks.
My mom used to take me as a kid, and and they have the bull riders, and it just a lot of fun.
I'll take your word for it. Oh, all right. Well, you have a good weekend. Everybody in the chat, have a good weekend. Nate, Crystal, Reno, Scott, Melissa. Who
And
else?
enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. Look,
Yes, April.
go pinch, or try your best getting pinched, and enjoy your St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.